Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're plunging into fascinating topics, pulling out the key insights for you. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the life of Alexander the Great. Now, most of us, we picture this almost mythical figure, maybe even godlike. But when you dig into the sources, it's actually quite revealing. Alexander wasn't born a god. He started as a boy, a prince, in Pella, Macedonia. That was, 356 BCE. A long time ago.
It really was. And what strikes me looking at the sources is how early that, let's call it a spark, was there.
Yeah.
And it was nurtured. His tutor, this is incredible, was Aristotle. The Aristotle.
Right, not just any tutor.
Exactly. So think about that. Learning philosophy, science, stories of heroes like Achilles from him. It really gives you a clue, doesn't it, about why Alexander later valued knowledge, culture, not just, winning battles.
So that early ambition, fueled by Aristotle, it wasn't just him wanting stuff. It was like a plan for his whole life. The sources are pretty clear. He didn't just want to read about legends. He aimed to be one. So how did that actually, translate into him taking power so young and so fast?
Well, he was only 20 when his father, King Philip II, was assassinated. Alexander becomes king. Now, most people would have faltered, right? He inherits this kingdom, Macedonia, and it's kind of fractured. Internal problems, rivals.
A tough spot for anyone, let alone a 20-year-old.
Definitely. But he pulls it together, swiftly. Not just with force, though that was part of it, but by getting people behind a common goal. It really shows remarkable, vision and courage. Leadership, basically.
Makes you wonder, how does a young guy achieve that kind of unity that quickly?
It's quite something. And with that unified base, he didn't hang around.
No waiting.
Not at all. He immediately looks east, towards Persia.
Yeah.
And he crosses the Hellespont, that narrow strait between Europe and Asia.
With a smaller army, too.
Exactly. A smaller force. It's this huge symbolic act, like flipping Xerxes' old invasion of Greece on its head. It was basically him saying, okay, I'm here to conquer the known world. Super audacious.
So our mission today, it's not just to list his battles.
Yeah.
It's to unpack the strategy, the leadership, yes, but also these surprising visionary ideas. There's more to him than just being this warrior king stereotype.
Oh, much more. And if you want military genius, Gaugamela. 331 BCE. He's facing Darius III's Persian army. Hugely outnumbered.
Completely outnumbered.
What does he do? He almost invites the Persians to try and outflank him with their chariots. It seems crazy, but it was a calculated risk. It opened up the space for his hammer and anvil tactic to just smash the Persian center.
Wow.
The sources say he led the charge himself, spear flashing, just cutting through their lines. Pure strategic brilliance, not just bravery.
And that personal element, right? He fought with his men, bled with them.
Absolutely. That creates incredible loyalty. They weren't following him just because he was king or out of fear. It was respect, maybe even love.
But his genius, like you said, wasn't confined to the battlefield, was it? His world vision was just as big.
It really was. He wasn't just conquering for the sake of it or for loot. People often miss his approach to, governing. Take Egypt. He doesn't just take over. He found Alexandria, a city designed for knowledge, trade, cultural mixing. Precisely, a testament to his idea of an integrated empire. And maybe the most radical thing, he adopted local customs. In Persia, in Egypt.
That's where it gets really fascinating, I think, especially looking back now. This wasn't just being nice or tolerant. It seems like a really smart, pragmatic way to build a lasting empire.
Exactly. Securing loyalty through integration, not just domination.
He genuinely seemed to dream of a world without these hard borders, didn't he? Greek, Persian, Egyptian, Indian culture sort of blending together.
Yeah, a kind of universal empire of humanity. It was that vision, as much as the swords, that built the legend.
A powerful idea.
Extremely. But, flames that burn that brightly, they often burn out fast. He died really young, 32, in Babylon. And we still debate why, don't we? Poison, fever, just sheer exhaustion, maybe a mix of everything.
Could be. But his achievements, they're just unparalleled. Conquering so much so quickly. And the legacy lasted. It reshaped the whole ancient world.
Undeniably.
So Alexander the Great, a hero, yes.
Yeah.
A king, definitely. But also a visionary. His story, I think, shows us that real courage isn't only about fighting enemies on a battlefield. It's also about pushing past the limits of what everyone thinks is possible. So here's something maybe ponder for yourself. What does Alexander's big, audacious dream, this world without borders, blending Greek, Persian, Egyptian, Indian cultures, what does that tell you about unity and ambition today?